Shalom, Hebrews and Shebrews, oilfield disciple. We're fixing to get down on some daily bread. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here a while. We know the drill. Let's read some daily bread, 4 chapters, one old, one new, one psalm, and the proverb of the day, which we're going to go back and read Proverbs 31 and then 1 because there was only 30 days last month. And July 1st. All right, let's turn the camera around and let's get this breakfast. We will be in Exodus 13, Luke 17, and Psalms 60, and Proverbs 31 and Proverbs 1. Pretty short chapter here in Exodus this morning. Shemot, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Set apart to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beast. It is mine. Whose is it? Yahweh's. Everything. And Moshe said to the people, Remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out of this place. And whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the new moon Abib. And it shall be, when Yahweh brings you into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep the service in this new moon. 7 days you are to eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day is a festival unto Yahweh. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days. Each of the 7 days you are to eat at least a bite of unleavened bread. And whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be with you within all your border. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, It is because of what Yahweh did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim. And it shall be as a sign to you on your hand, as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yahweh is to be your mouth. For with a strong hand Yahweh has brought you out of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this law at its appointed time, from year to year. And it shall be, when Yahweh brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall give over to Yahweh every one opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock. The males belong to Yahweh. But every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be, when your son asks you in the time to come, saying, What is this? Then you shall say to him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. It came to be, when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Yahweh killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yahweh every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. And it shall be as a sign on your hand, and as frontlets between your eyes, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought us out of Mitzrayim. It came to be, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Elohim did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, though that was nearer. For Elohim said, Lest the people regret when they see fighting and return to Mitzrayim. So Elohim led the people around by the way of the wilderness of the Sea of Reeds, and the children of Israel went up to the fives from the land of Mitzrayim. Went up in fives from the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe took the bones of Yosef with him, for he certainly made the children of Israel swear, saying, Elohim shall certainly visit you, and you shall bring my bones from here with you. And they departed from Sukkot and camped in Ethan at the edge of the wilderness. And Yahweh went before them by day in a column of cloud to lead the way, and by night a column of fire to give them light, so as to go by day and night. The column of cloud did not cease by day, nor the column of fire by night before the people. The Lord led them the entire way. Even in their grumblings and their fit throwing and everything else. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's read Psalm 60. Tehillim 60. figures will get us there. Again, another short one. O Elohim, you have rejected us. You have broken us. You have been displeased. Turn back to us. You have made the earth tremble, and you have broken it. Heal its breaches, for it is shaken. You have let your people see hardship, and you have made us drink the wine of trembling. You have given a banner to those who fear you, that it might be lifted up, because of the truth, Selah, that those you love might be rescued. Say with your right hand and answer me. Elohim has spoken in his set apartness. I exult. I portion out Shechem, and measure out the valley of Sukkot. Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is the defiance of my head. Yehuda is my inscriber. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom I cast my shoe. Shout loud, O Philistia, because of me. Who would bring me to the strong city? Who shall lead me to Edom? Have not you, O Elohim, rejected us? And you did not go out, O Elohim, with our armies? Give us help from distress. For the help of man is not, and Elohim we do mightily, and he treads down our adversaries. Well, we're just going to move along today. There's a lot there you can go and do your own research on, studying on. Let's turn to Mishle 31, Proverbs 31. We'll read it and then go to 1. The words of the sovereign Lemuel, a message which his mother taught him. What, my chosen? And what chosen of my womb? And what chosen of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to wiping away sovereigns. Not for sovereigns, O Lemuel, not for sovereigns to drink wine, nor for princes to desire strong drink, lest they drink and forget what is inscribed, and pervert the right of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those embittering and being. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his trouble no more. Open your mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all the sons departed. Open your mouth and judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. Who does find a capable wife? For she is far more than rubies. She is worth far more than rubies. The heart of her husband shall trust her, and he has no lack of gain. She shall do him good and not evil all the days of her life, and she shall seek wool and flax, and with delight she works with her hands. She shall be as the ships of the merchant. She brings in her food from afar. She also rises while it is still night, and provides food for her household. And what is lawful for her girls? She shall consider a field and buy it. For her profits she shall plant a vineyard. She shall gird herself with strength, and strengthen her arms. She shall taste when her grain is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. She shall stretch out her hands to the distaff, and her hand shall hold the spindle. She shall extend her hand to the poor. She shall reach out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is distressed in scarlet. She shall make tapestry for herself. She is dressed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, she shall make fine linen and sell them, and shall give girdles for the merchants. Strength and splendor are her garments, and she rejoices in the time to come, and she shall open her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the Torah of loving commitment. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband too, and he praises her. Many daughters have done nobly, but you have risen over them all. Loveliness is deceptive, and prettiness is vain. A woman who fears Yahweh is to be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Man, if you're doing your jobs right, this will be your wives. But remember, when we're reading Proverbs, it not only has to do with the physical female, but it also has to do with church and doctrine and wisdom. Proverbs 1. As today is July 1st, July 1, 2020. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, sovereign of Israel, for knowing wisdom and discipline, for understanding the words of understanding, and for receiving the discipline of wisdom. righteousness, right ruling, and straightness, for giving insight to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. The wise one hears and increases learning, and the understanding one gets wise counsel, for understanding a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. My son, heed the discipline of your father, and do not forsake the Torah of your mother, for they are a fair wreath on your head and chains about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not give in. If they say, come with us, let us lie and wait for blood. Let us ambush the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and entirely like those going down to the pit. Let us find all precious goods, and let us fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. No, it's not okay to have my choice, my body. It's not okay to kill the innocent. Have no part of that. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed blood, for in vain the net is spread, and the sight of any that possesses a wing, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Such are the ways of everyone greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its owners. Wisdom calls aloud outside, and she raises her voice in the broad places. At the head of the noisy street she cries out, at the openings of the gates in the city she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, would you love simplicity? And shall scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? Of course they do. Turn at my reproof. See, I pour out my spirit on you. I make my words known to you because I call, and you refused. I have stretched out my hands, and no one inclined. And you spurned all my counsel, and would not yield to my reproof. Let me also laugh at your calamity. Mock when your dread comes. When your dread comes like a storm, and your calamity comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, let them then call on me, but I'll answer not. Let them seek me, but not find me, because they hated knowledge, and they did not choose to fear of Yahweh. They did not accept my counsel, and they despised my reproof, all my reproof. Therefore let them eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own counsels. For the turning away of the simple kill them, and the complacency of fools destroys them. But whoever listens to me dwells safely, and is at ease from the dread of evil. The dread of evil. Not of evil, but the dread of it. There'll be peace amongst the storm. There'll be peace when there should not be no peace, according to the world. Lucas 17? 16, 17? 17. And Yeshua said to his taught ones, it is inevitable that stumbling blocks should come, but woe to him through whom they come. Woe to you who cause your brother to stumble. It would be better for him if a millstone would be put around. Hang on. It would be better for him if a millstone is put around his neck and he were thrown to the sea, than that he should cause one of these little ones to stumble. Take heed to yourselves. If your brother sins against you, rebuke him, and if he repents, you forgive him. If he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day comes back to you saying, I repent, you shall forgive him. And the apostle said to the master, give us more belief, give us more faith, Lord. And the master said, if you have belief as a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, be pulled up by the roots and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. But who of you, having a servant plowing or shepherding, would say to him, when he has come in from the field, come immediately and sit down to eat? But would he not rather say to him, prepare somewhat for my supper, gird yourself, and serve me while I eat and drink, and afterwards you shall eat and drink? Would he thank that servant because he did what he was commanded? I think not. So also you, when you have done all that you were commanded, say, we are unworthy servants. We have done what was our duty to do. It came to be as he went to Jerusalem, and he passed through the midst of Shomeron in Galilee, Samaria. And as he was entering into a certain village, he was met by 10 leprous men, who stood at a distance. And they lifted up their voices, saying, Yeshua, Master, have compassion on us. And having seen them, he said to them, Go, show yourselves to the priests. And it came to be that as they were going, they were cleansed. Okay, Yeshua still recognizes the law of Leviticus 16 here, or Leviticus 13, that you're to quarantine the sick, put them outside the camp, have the priest check them out. When the priests say that they're clean, then they're clean. When the priest says they're healed, they're healed. Verse 15, and one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned, praising Elohim with a loud voice, and he fell down upon his face at his feet, giving thanks to him, and he was a Samaritan. And Yeshua answered and said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Was no one found to return to give praise to Elohim except this foreigner? And he said to him, Rise and go your way, your belief has made you well. And having been asked by the Pharisees when the reign of Elohim would come, he answered and said, The reign of Elohim does not come with intent watching, nor shall they say, Look here, or look there. For look, the reign of Elohim is in your midst. And he said to the taught ones, Day shall come when you shall long to see one of the days of Son of Adam, but you shall not see it. And they shall say to you, Look here, or look there. Do not go after them, nor follow. For as the lightning that flashes out of one part of heaven shines to the other part of heaven, so also the Son of Adam shall be in his day. But first he has to suffer much and be rejected by this generation. And that as it came to be in the days of Noah, so it shall be in the days of the Son of Adam. They were eating and they were drinking, they were marrying and they were giving in marriage, until the day that Noah went into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, as it came to be in the days of Lot, they were eating, they were drinking, they were buying and they were selling, they were planting and they were building. But on the day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and sulfur from heaven and destroyed all. It shall be the same in the day of the Son of Adam is revealed. And that day, he who shall be on the housetop, and his goods in the house, let him not come down to take them away. And likewise, the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember the wife of Lot. Whoever seeks to save his life shall lose it. Whoever loses his life shall preserve it. I say to you, and that night there shall be 2 in one bed, one taken, the other left. 2 women grinding together, the one shall be taken, and the other left. 2 shall be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. And they answered and said to him, Where, Master? And he said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures shall be gathered together. From verse 34 to 37 is where a lot of people get this false idea that there's a rapture, a pre-tribulation, secret rapture that's going to come and take away the saints of the Most High. If you read that in context and correctly with his other parables, mainly the one about the parable of the sower that sows, that the enemy comes in the night and sows his seed in the field along with the grain or the wheat and the tares. What gets plucked up first? The tares and thrown into the fire. And then the wheat is gathered to the barn. You can look for a rapture if you want, but you're going to be deceived and mistaken when there isn't one. We really got to watch out for these false doctrines. When Jesus says those who say, Look here, look there, there's the Christ. There's only one way Jesus is coming, and he's specifically laid it out for us in his word, how he's coming. And that's the end of days. That's it. It's over. Start a new heaven, new earth at that point. So anyway, y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and like these cows, they were gathered for feeding. Let us gather each day to feed on the word of the Lord. The soul-filled disciple, I'll catch you on the next ride.